Welcome, Taurus, to your reading for the second half of October. I don't know what date that's starting on, but I'll just take it on good faith that you'll know where that is. Taurus, we're doing a 12 card spread as usual, and we'll just jump right in. So, for the first house here, you have the Three of Pentacles. The Three of Pentacles is about work with a collaboration and a team. And in the first house of your identity, and this will basically highlight the rest of your reading. Um, any kind of decision that you have to make as a group or in communication with others around work. That's kind of where that's sitting at for now, Taurus. Let's see what the clarifier says there.
We've got the King of Swords for your clarifier, Taurus. So the King of
Mm.
Swords, this is a card of skill, knowledge, and wisdom. So showing up in your first house of identity, perhaps you're starting to align more with this idea of yourself as like, I know my stuff. So Taurus, I get the sense that this is going to serve you really well. People will get a sense of this about you because you have got a deeper sense of this within yourself. So I would say that this skill, knowledge and wisdom that you're now really coming into is allowing that Three of Pentacles, that beautiful quality work to come through. So it's a lovely marriage of manifesting a work of high quality and high skill with a sense of like, yep, I really know that I've got the goods. I've got the knowledge, the skill, and the wisdom to bring this through. So this is really caught up in your sense of self and your identity, which is really positive, Taurus.
Mm. Thanks, Fran. And moving into the second house, Taurus, we have the Temperance card. This card is all about refinement and taking one thing and turning it into something even better. In the second house of values, resources, and skills, I think for the most of you, Taurus, if not all of you, you all know how to turn something mediocre into something amazing. And that's where you're going to find your abundance in this next fortnight. That may not always be the case throughout the year, but at this time it is. And I think this is also saying that it's connected to what you gain from your work. When you're feeling kind of stuck or feeling hard done by, you can do something to actually shift that energy and turn it around and make the most with what you've already got. So let's see what the clarifier says, how you can do that.
Great. Our clarifier is beautiful. It is the
Oh,
sun. So the most positive card in the deck, Taurus, in your second house of what you're resourced with. So what this suggests is that what you're resourced with is confidence. You can see things clearly. So the sun illuminates everything. So you've got perspective, you've got clarity, you've got vision, and you've got the real chutzpah of the energy. You know, that the sun is our life force. There is no life without sun. So this is what you're resourced with. This is what can bring about your abundance. It's also a card that's very closely linked with Leo and the inner child. So I think what it's asking of you is to get a little bit more in touch with your playfulness, your inner child, maybe a long lost dream or, some creative talent or gift or ability that you had as a kid. I think that's going to come back to you, and that's going to be really indicative of what brings about your abundance, which is what the second house, your house, Taurus, is all about.
Yeah, that's right. That is Taurus's house. So cool, Fran. In the third house, we have the Emperor. The third house is communication, ideas, and how you connect to the external world. The Emperor card is all about assertion, knowing what he's doing. He's got the skills, like you were saying, Fran, the chutzpah to do what he needs to do. There's no hesitation. And maybe the way you're communicating at this time over the next fortnight will really benefit you if it's coming from that place of assertiveness. You know what you're doing. How can you connect to that confidence that already exists in you, Taurus? And it also says that he's really good at making decisions. So when you communicate a clear decision, that's going to feel really stabilizing for you and the people around you, whether that's at work, at home, in relationships, but also perhaps talking to yourself as well. How can you lean into more of that? Like you're knowing what you're doing, you know what you're talking about. And if anything is kind of feeling doubtful, let's see what the clarifier says you can do to support that.
Beautiful. So you have got the Four of Swords. So you've got to rest, you've got to take time to recover, rejuvenate, heal. So maybe after all of that hard work, bringing through all of that good stuff, it's just about acknowledging that and letting yourself have that well-earned rest, and knowing if you do allow that rejuvenation, that your work and your creative expression is going to be far more productive. So I would say rest, Taurus.
Yeah. Yeah, that sounds loud and clear, Fran. In the fourth house of what's familiar in family of origin or chosen family, we have the Eight of Pentacles. I feel like this is like the 100th time I've seen this card today, and watching in other people's readings as well. So there's some kind of a theme emerging. I think maybe Taurus for you in this house, it's about what have you already done so much of in those places that are familiar, that feels good? And what are you not noticing because you're staying kind of stuck in your head down mode, not knowing how much you've already done? So, can you take some space and some time to look up and see with fresh eyes what has already been accomplished? And with that perspective, it'll give you more information to know which direction to head in and what decision to make. Mm.
Yeah.
Sorry, I am not clarifying. You are doing the
No,
clarifying.
no, I realize I'm
I
clarifying. I was,
I forgot. I thought I was clarifying
oh,
then. It's okay. Let's just put that in.
we need some
Oh,
clarification
goodness.
around who's clarifying. Do you love that? I know that's
That
not
is
lost
so
on
good.
Taurus. Um, yeah, just as you were speaking, Em, I got the sense that Taurus, are you the only one working at home? Perhaps you need to
Hmm.
ask for some help. Are you falling into that role of being all things to all people? I'll do it all. Oh, no, don't you lift a finger. I'll do everything. So maybe just reassess that role, reassess that work, and if that's serving you. And our actual clarifier, oh my God, we've got the 10 of Wands.
Oh, interesting.
Wow. So I get the feeling that you are feeling burdened, and you do need to ask for some help. You do need to share the load. This is actually a positive card, though. It does suggest that you are near the finish line and you are bringing home a harvest. But I get the sense that you've done all the work and it needs to be more shared responsibility. So don't be afraid to ask for help. It's not
Mm,
going to damage your reputation as the one that can do it all, the one that does it all. Um,
mm,
yeah, I think maybe let go of that is
mm.
what I get there for you, Taurus.
Yeah, wise words, Fran. In the fifth house, we have five of swords. So this card is a card of tactics. It's also of recognizing when you're accomplishing something. And the fifth house, sorry, was about creative expression and also connecting to the more vulnerable inner part of you. But this card is kind of a story around feeling like you've accomplished something, but it may not be earned or deserved. So connecting to that core belief of I don't deserve the success that I'm having now, and being in the realm of creative self-expression, perhaps that may be a bit of embarrassment or humiliation if you are expressing yourself and standing out. This card is asking you to not be afraid of that. And can you kind of lean into that energy where you're not worrying so much about what other people think? I think that's what it's saying. What's the clarifier saying there, Fran?
Yeah, it's the Five of Cups in your fifth house of creative expression. So interesting, we've got a five in your
Oh,
fifth house. So that's just a sign from the universe that it's validating something for you.
yeah, there's
Um,
three fives. So this is Five of Swords
wow.
too. I'm like, what is that about?
Yeah,
Hmm.
3 5. So some people say five is the number for easy solutions in the tarot. Five in
Oh.
numerology is around public recognition. So that's exciting for you and interesting that that should land in the house of creative expression. I get the sense from the Five of Cups that you've ventured into this world of creative expression before, and maybe you've lost your taste for it. Maybe it was disappointing in some way. Maybe you put too much pressure on an outcome, like I'm going to do this drama class because I want to be an actor and I want to be famous. And so maybe it's about just creativity for creativity's sake and letting it be its own reward rather than getting too caught up in an outcome that I think in the past has led to some disappointment, is what I get there.
Yeah, I love that, Fran. And I got some inspiration as you were talking too. If there is a really amazing outcome that comes from that creative expression, that's a bonus, but it's already enough to be able to just be using it to express. I like it.
Mm.
Cool. All right. In the sixth house, we have the Eight of Cups. The Eight of Cups is about leaving something behind that no longer serves you. And in the sixth house, that's about work, making good decisions, healthy decisions, and discernment. So it's definitely in keeping with this house. Sorry. And the Eight of Cups is it's kind of like a sad journey away. Like it's a deliberate separation, and maybe you don't have all of your heart in walking away, but you know it's necessary. So I wonder how that's coming up in work for you, Taurus, and also in any kind of a decision that you're going to have to make. It may be a painful one, but you know it's necessary.
Just as you were talking, Em, I get the sense that Taurus in the workplace, too much responsibility has been heaped on you, and you might be walking away from that now. And that might have been hard because perhaps there was a little bit of your own sense of identity caught up in, as I was saying before, I can do it all. Yes, if you want something done, ask a busy person, aka a Taurian. So I feel like you're walking away from that overburdened sense of responsibility that your identity was caught up in. But I feel like it's a release. I feel like it's a blessing. I feel like you're walking into something that's so much more expansive and liberating and authentic. And let's see what our clarifier says. Oh my gosh. Wow. So
Ah,
the Queen of
great.
Cups. So, lots of success for you at work around this, a sense of completion, a sense of celebration. I feel that you're being celebrated in the workplace, Taurus. So, really, really positive.
Great. Yeah. Cool. And that was the sixth house. Now we're moving into the seventh house of relationships, partnerships. We've got the Page of Cups. And I think this card asks us to check what's real and what is not real, what's a delusion, and what are we hoping for. The feeling that I'm getting from this card too is how much do we exist in that space of longing for and hoping for the potential of something and not actually being in relationship with the reality of the person before you or the person that you are. So it's kind of asking you to check around that. And if you are experiencing a hope for potential or a hope for someone to change, and that's what's keeping you in the relationship, it would be useful to have a look at, okay, what are my alternatives here? And how can I ground that through? Let's see how the clarifier says that can happen.
Yeah, just as you were speaking, I agree with you. I get there's a sense of falling in love with the reality rather than falling in love with the fantasy and making a very intentional, conscious choice around that. So maybe some maturing is happening.
Mm.
Yeah, really lovely. And our clarifier, beautiful, is the Page of Wands. So the
Ah.
Page of Wands is all about following your enthusiasm. So this is finding your enthusiasm in relationships. So it might be intimate partner, friendships, work relationships, relationship with self, relationship with higher self, really finding and unearthing the enthusiasm because it's all too easy to take things for granted and to kind of focus on what's wrong and nitpick. But by reinvigorating our enthusiasm for someone, whoever that someone might be, we get a renewed enthusiasm for life. I also get the sense for some of you who are wanting love, who are unattached at the moment, that a very enthusiastic person is coming in for you and is going to
Mm.
reignite your own enthusiasm. And I would just follow that enthusiasm. So I think it's asking you to leave some sort of resistance behind and step more into enthusiasm.
Hmm. Lovely. And then in the eighth house, Taurus, we have I think my deck is upside down, that's why. The Eight of Wands. So this is quick success and momentum. Um, in the eighth house, this is representative of transformation, big changes in your life, but also anything that could be transformative in the sense that you're gaining new insight to yourself and your situation. It's going to feel like maybe sometimes the ground's shifting under your feet, but with this quick success card, it's really promising that it'll be a positive change. What's the clarifier saying for that, Fran?
Lovely. Oh, wonderful. Justice.
Mm.
So, justice in your house of transformation suggests that through fighting for justice, you are transforming, and also fighting for justice, you are transforming something. And what you've been transforming within yourself, the work you've been doing on yourself, is allowing you, is giving you the courage and again the chutzpah to go after justice. So this is also a card of balance. So I think this transformation is about transforming your life so you can have more balance in your life. And I guess also asking for fairness in little and big ways, which is quite transformational for you. So, really transformational time for you, Taurus, really exciting.
Yeah. Okay, and then in the ninth house, we have, oh wow, the sun has come up again. And the ninth house is about expansion, opening your mind, being more, I guess, taking the time to travel and experience adventure. But it's all about changing perspective and broadening it. And the sun in that position is just extremely positive. It's about, um, basically saying that in the next fortnight, you're going to be experiencing a lot more expansion in your ideas, in your sense of self, after that transformation, but also through your relationships. So overall, just really positive. Oh, let's see what the
Yeah,
clarifier says with that.
yeah, really lovely. In your ninth house of higher mind, expansion, travel, call to adventure. That's a beautiful card to be showing up there. And wow, this actually
Mm,
the Three of Wands is about a call to adventure, and it is about expansion, and it's landing in your ninth house of a call to adventure, a call to expansion. So you're expanding at this time, Taurus, and I get the sense that you're really going with it. And I feel like it's starting to shift things for you. You've probably been working at this for a really long time, and now it's showing up in the real world for you.
mm, brilliant. And then in the 10th house, we have the Tower card. Oh, so something may have just changed or will be changing for you, Taurus, in the 10th house of reputation and status and public image. But what this indicates to me is that because of the level of positivity that's happening throughout the rest of the reading, the Tower card is related to a big shakeup that is actually going to benefit you. So something's going to really shift and it's going to be unexpected, but it will be valuable in the end, particularly because of the insights you gain and people around you who learn from that experience. Sometimes this speaks to things beyond our control, like the economy changing or I don't know, something coming like inheritance coming up suddenly. So it could be anything like that. Let's see what the clarifier says.
And it's interesting that this is showing up in your 10th house. So, your career, your contribution to the world. So, I feel like there's a positive change happening in that arena for you. And our clarifier, oh, wow, beautiful, is the Nine of
Mm,
Pentacles. So, great abundance coming in for you as a result of your hard work, your career, your contribution to the world, your status, your public face, your public image. It's also a card of looking after your environment and making sure that your environment is conducive to abundance. So that just might be little things like, a pot plant in the corner or just something that makes your environment more conducive to feeling love and self care, because this is a card of great self care. She also has grapes around her, which represents something that's very difficult to grow and requires a special talent, skill, gift, or ability, which you have, which is really coming into manifestation at this time. So, really exciting time for you, Taurus.
okay, so for the 11th house, we have the Hierophant. So this is interesting to have in the house of hopes, wishes, and dreams because the Hierophant is a card of a blessing coming through. The Hierophant can also represent a message from beyond in terms of I mean, like the image of the card is people getting married potentially. So it could be kind of a blessing for a relationship as well. It could be around a business partnership or a friendship, anything like that. But there may be something coming through for you, Taurus, that is connected to hoping for something happening in a relationship. And this is a very positive omen ultimately. Let's see what the clarifier says for that too.
Mm. Oh, wow, beautiful. Ace of Wands. So this
Mm.
is all about inspiration. This is out with the old, in with the new. This is a fresh new beginning. So if you have a wish for something around perhaps a relationship being reinvigorated with new life, or maybe reinvigorated in a way that calls for a deeper commitment, it's coming in for you. So lots of inspiration around a wish fulfillment. So I feel like a wish, it's as simple as a wish is coming through for you. So when this is indicated so clearly and strongly, I always say careful what you wish for. I'm sure it's positive because you're a very considered sign, Taurus. That's one of your strengths, slow and steady. So I think you'd have a lot of clarity and good, well considered, deep reflection around what you're wishing for. So, yeah, wish
Mm.
fulfillment.
Cool. And then in the 12th house, Taurus, finally, of all things hidden and secret. And this can be like the mysteries of the universe or in relationships as well. The Five of Cups. And even though this card looks quite sad, it's ultimately something really positive because it's about letting go and grieving and accepting something that needs to be said goodbye to. Um, and this emerging in the 12th house often is to do with things that are difficult to process or difficult to incorporate into what we're trying to do day to day. But it's the bigger, more esoteric question of how do you experience value in your life? Because the hidden is where a lot of power and empowerment can sit. So something maybe that you're letting go of, that you're in the process of letting go of, or knowing that you have to do that, but you haven't been able to yet. And the clarifier should be able to tell us how you can do that.
Lovely. We've got the Knight of Cups in your 12th house of deep spirituality, as Em was saying, all things hidden. So the
Mm,
Knight of Cups is like your knight in shining armor. So I get the sense of this is how you're showing up for yourself, because this is a very sort of internal house.
mm,
Um, and it reflects the deep spiritual work that you've done. So you're now able to show up for yourself as the Knight of Cups. And if you are looking for love, as within, so without. So if you're showing up for yourself in a Knight of Cups sort of way, a knight in shining armor, ready for adventure, ready for action, full steam ahead, this is the kind of person that's coming in for you. So,
mm,
and I also get the sense that your spiritual work that you've done, which is very 12th house, the spiritual work, whatever that means for you, affirmation, meditation, yoga, Anthony Robbins, step up, whatever your spirituality means for you, it's become really effective. Your spiritual work now has the quality of Knight of Cups, knight in shining armor. So yeah, really well done, Taurus.
mm. Thanks for reading with us, Taurus. It looks like a very positive, exciting time ahead for you. If you're ever feeling like, oh, I just don't know what's going on this fortnight, come back to the reading, review it, and check out what's actually happening in each of those houses. So thanks for joining us, and we'll see you in the next fortnight.